We are live. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, Mudda Refugee Hustle Mudda people? It is your boy Kevin Yee, the Farm D, and I'm doing my weekly show on every Sunday where I just live stream and connect with y'all. I don't know if it sounds a little weird right now because using this new program where I can actually take some cool call-ins. That's why I'm a little bit late, because I was actually trying to figure out how do I take call-ins. So maybe I'll try it this stream if you guys are open to it as well. Looks like I'm on right now. I already got the likes. Really appreciate it. And why don't I do some shameless plugs right now? If you're just tuning into the chat, make sure you say hello. Stop by and say the mother hello. Tell me what you're up to. We got the homeboy phase in. What's going on, man? Really appreciate you just tuning in and all that. And one of the really cool things about my stream recently, let me just improve the framing. But one of the really cool things about this live stream is that I've been getting a lot of momentum with it. Like, a lot of people are starting to like it. More people are tuning in. This might actually be one of the last live streams I do in this apartment, because I'm planning to move out relatively soon. So that's what I've been up to. But if you want to see something cool, I actually really recently got into website design. And oh shoot, hold on, I don't know why my website isn't popping up. Hold on for a second. Now if I switch, it still does not work. Holy shit. Hold on for a second. This is technical difficulties, right? Oh yeah, you guys can see it. Yeah, I recently updated the Refugee Hustle website as well. Trying to work with the spacing. The spacing's a little off right now, but been really updating a website. I'm actually going to be switching everything from MailChimp to something called SendFox by Noah Kagan. Really great. It's only like, I want to simplify as much of my email process as possible. If you go into my, not articles, but if you go into, I'm actually in the middle of redesigning everything here. So, hold on. If you go here, it has like my whole about me and stuff. This was really actually inspired by James Clear. It's probably really laggy since I'm like doing both, where I'm where I'm streaming and all that. But basically I simplified my website, so should be pretty cool. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure to check it out. It might be down later today, but yeah, guys. Wow, how many years has it been in there? Oh man, I've been in this apartment for the last, I want to say, maybe about 3 years. It's pretty crazy. I moved. Keep in mind, I left. I think when we left Whittier, the old apartment that we were at before, it was like 2017. 2016. I think around 2016, and then yeah, it's been almost like 3 years or 4 years since I've been here. It's crazy, right? But time flies by, and I think it's I'm going to be moving in by myself, so I won't be relying on roommates or anything like that. So Seton says, "Hello. Have you watched Asian Capitalist?" No, I have not actually watched the Asian Capitalist. Hey, dude, you know what I want to try? I want to try to see if people, oh, what the heck, my phone went off, but I want to see if I can take some like live calls, if you guys are open for it. So let's do this. If you go to, I think it's www.refugeehustle.zoom/zoom, let's try this. Let's see if it works. And I would love to kind of hear, like, have people tune in and stuff like that. Let me go back into my Zoom. And I think I'm ready to rock and roll, like, for live calls. So if anybody wants to try that link out, might work, might not work, but I would love to kind of try this live call and see if I can make this a lot more interactive and stuff. So if one of you want to jump in, just let me know. It's only going to be audio, by the way, no video and stuff like that. But yeah, I saw a lot of streams. I saw a lot of streams of you in here, man. A lot of stuff happened. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of stuff that has happened throughout the years, man. This was the place where, so many memories in here. Like, keep in mind, I've always wanted to stay in K-Town for a longest time. Like, this was actually one of my dreams. I used to watch something called K-Town. What's that called? K-Town, the reality show all the time. So I used to watch like all that, and I was like, oh man, K-Town looks really cool to live in. And I agree, like K-Town is like one of the best places I ever lived, you know, and it's really busy, really the hustle and bustle. I actually love it here, but you know, I think it's time for a new change. Not to say I want to go into suburbs or anything like that, but I'm going to be changing like the scenery and stuff like that as well. So, yeah, man, we're just really excited for the next steps. Although I have to admit, I am not too thrilled about like having to pack, having to do all that sort of stuff. It's kind of not gonna lie, it's a little bit kind of annoying, just like packing up everything and selling everything and moving things. It gets really, really expensive over time. What's my favorite song right now? No, it's really crazy. I was talking about it with my friends, and like a few hip hop friends. And honestly, I haven't been keeping up with music at all. Like barely keeping up with music whatsoever. So I don't know any of the new artists or anything like that, which is, you know, a little bit sad because I was always a huge hip hop head, right? I still am a hip hop head, but I just haven't been listening to new tracks. Because here's the thing, man. When I was a lot younger, the cycle for music would be a lot longer. So like nowadays, you have like these different you have these different artists, especially on SoundCloud and all that sort of stuff. And so the I guess nowadays like it's so much quicker, so it's a lot harder to keep up with. But as far as new songs, I don't really know. If you got any suggestions, let me know. But I gotta connect with my friends who are like into the new hip hop world and stuff. I don't have no idea what's happening, man. Although I heard Future has a new album out or something like that, which is like really great or something like that. I haven't really listened to Future or anybody like that in a long time too. And this time I'm preventing the mistake I made last time, and I actually have like some actually green tea. You know what's really interesting? I got this shaker bottle back in Boston. It's like one of the best shaker bottles, no promo, but I actually use it to cold brew my tea. So what I'll do is pour like cold water into 4 tea bags that I got from Costco. I drink it all the time, man. Like whether I'm on a sales call or if I'm working or anything like that. That's what I'm up to. Video suggestion: Osseous interview on YouTube. Oh man, it's gonna crash. If I load any videos up, either two things are gonna happen. One, my computer might crash because this is pretty high demands, like playing video. Second thing, most likely my I'll get copyright strike or some crazy crap like that. So unfortunately, I'll save it to my Osseous interview on YouTube. Costco versus Sam's. Let's see. You know what's interesting? I've actually never been to Sam's Club before. I'm more of a Costco guy. Costco is like one of my favorite places because one, like super great deals there. I go there, do my gas. I go there, do everything. But you know, in general, I've never been to a Sam's Club, really. I can't remember ever going to a Sam's Club ever in my life. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. But also, some really cool things that are happening, just to update you guys on my QLA journey. I've actually emailed about 30 CFOs earlier today. And so just working on it. I'm not going to lie. There's a piece of me where I'm just feeling super, super intimidated about the whole QLA journey. And I'm not sure if it's just like the doubt coming in, just, you know, imposter syndrome and all that sort of stuff. But, you know, I'm just chugging along, just trying to see the steps of it, not thinking too far into it. So there's that. But I am really, really proud of myself, like, for redoing my website for the first time, man. Like, no one helped me. My good friend, Zach Hing, if you check out his channel, he actually recommended the Divi theme for myself. So I started using Divi theme. And I understand how websites work, but man, I took James Clear's website. Love his minimalistic website. So I just modeled everything after that. And I think looks a lot better, a lot clearer. Obviously the padding and all that is a little bit off, but yeah. I'm sure you did already, but how did you feel about your decade and how much you changed? I think well, I'll tell you this. Over the last, decade, I haven't done a decade in review, but I did one of the last year. And even within the last year, a lot of big changes. I've met a lot of really interesting people, especially within high ticket sales and stuff. And I'm going to actually switch this to my normal thing. Hold on, because no one has joined into my chat room at all. So I'm just gonna turn it off now. Hold on for 1 second. Let's turn off this. Perfect. All right, now I'm not hearing this weird echo in my voice. But how do I feel about this last decade? Honestly, for my personal growth, think about it. The last 10 years, right? So I'm 31 right now. 10 years ago I was 21. And when I was 21, actually not too much different. I didn't really know what the fuck I wanted to do with my life. I was on that pharmacy grind. I think I was just entering pharmacy school at that time. And so I was just really, really busy with school. I was very risk averse at the time. And I was even wilder than I am like now. I've kind of calmed down since my 21 years old. Back in the day, we used to like go to Vegas. We used to do all these freaking trips. And I used to be really, really ratchet. I used to go clubbing all the time too. These days, I don't go clubbing as much anymore because I'm just really focused on the goals and making money and just progressing throughout life. Not to say I don't go out. I'm probably going to go out next week for my friend's birthday, Sylvia and whatnot. But it should be pretty I guess those are some major differences. And I feel like nowadays I'm a lot better at communicating. Even within, if you check out my videos within the last year, I really didn't have that much business acumen. I was still working on it. And nowadays I just feel a lot more confident about my business skills and communicating value. This year I decided to go to Toastmasters. So for the recommendation from Dan Pena. So I've been going to Toastmasters. I totally bombed it. That's what I did I think I did that last Monday. I totally bombed Toastmasters, but it was really cool just seeing the experience and all that sort of stuff. So really enjoyed it. I had a lot of I had a lot of uhs. That's one thing I'm trying to get better at and not say so much man and all that sort of stuff and filler phrases like that. Because especially if I'm planning to do QLA, I need to be able to talk to my board and I want to come off as clear and concise as possible. So those are some of the biggest differences as well. What do you think about this bull market right now? Stocks market all-time high. It's definitely going to crash, but really the question is everybody's like, when is it going to crash? And I'll tell you this, I mean, if you take the investing strategy that I'm telling you to do, dollar cost average and all that sort of stuff, that's great for most people. Like timing the markets is really, really tough. Now, when it's going to crash, I don't know, but I really don't really have an opinion on it, especially for me, I want to keep things as simple as possible. So if I were to, I guess, recommend a strategy for people, just keep on investing, dollar cost average. Maybe when the markets crash, set some money aside to double down during those dips. So that's what I recommend as well. Armored Ghost says, Peter Schwinn, there's nothing stopping this gravy train. Are millennials still shunning that marriage? I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. I mean, for me, I'll give my opinion about marriage, and there's a lot of people who will differ, but you have to keep in mind, one, I'm not religious. Two, I just don't see the benefit, especially if you're not religious. I just don't see the benefit of getting married, to be honest with you. That's something I feel very not strongly about, but as I get older, I'm just like, why should I get married? What is the point? Maybe is it to show commitment? Could I show commitment in other ways without financially tying myself? I listen to so many stories of people getting separated. That statistic of being like 40% of people getting divorced is pretty true. I've seen it tear apart people's credit score. I've seen cases where, people are, especially if you have kids, they're forced to pay crazy amount of child support. And it's just really ridiculous. It's just like, obviously there's two sides to every story, but you know, I was telling you guys before, when I went to QLA, there was a Harvard MBA guy. He was like, the biggest threat to anybody's net worth, to any entrepreneur's net worth, is marriage. So that was really interesting. So especially coming from, and funny thing enough, that guy was married, you know. And I don't know, I just don't personally, I don't see myself getting married anytime soon, or making that commitment. Is Robinhood a good app for investing? Okay, so I'll tell you this. The whole thing with Robinhood, why Robinhood was really, really great back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I'm just talking about when it first came out. It was the first zero commission brokerage service. It was a discount brokerage service. Didn't really do that much, right? And it would allow trades to go in for free. Now, how do they make money off of Robinhood? I can't really remember anymore, but it was either through their gold. They had a Robinhood Gold, and there was some like sort of other way. I think if you keep your money in cash, right? They have like, there's some sort of probably interest that they're probably investing that money, whatever that money is, in cash or whatever. Anyways, Robinhood is really, really good, and actually it paved the way for what's happening right now. So interesting fact. So back in October of last year, Fidelity did zero commission trades, and a lot of their fees like dropped, right? Just recently, if you've been following the news, I haven't posted this on Kick-Ass Investing on my other YouTube channel, but Vanguard actually had sent out an email. Maybe I'll pull up the email really quickly, but Vanguard actually pretty much did the same. Like I predicted that, you know, this kind of like disruptor, everybody would lower their fees. So if we actually, let me just pull up something really, really quick. I'll pull up actually Fidelity and let's see, Fidelity. So let's see, I can't find the ad for it, but they've let's see, I'm trying to find the official Vanguard type of thing. Yeah, so let's take a look over here. So ETFs, zero, like these are their fee schedules and stuff. Pay 0% commission to stocks and ETFs online. So they're just being competitive versus everyone else. And maybe I will do an updated video diving into it right now. But like I said, everybody's kind of lowering their fees. So with that being said, with the whole Robinhood, my real question is, you know, what is really the advantage of Robinhood? Before, there was a unique benefit to Robinhood, but now since the playing field has leveled, kind of leaves me wondering, why would I even use Robinhood? I actually haven't even looked at my Robinhood account for the longest time, which is really bad because I have some individual stocks in there, but that's not my primary focus either. What brokerage are you using for 2020? So here's my current situation. All my money is, most of my money is actually in Vanguard. So I was actually making the decision whether I should switch it over to Fidelity or not. But the thing is, my investing strategy is very, very simple. It's not super, super complicated, and I prefer to keep it that way. Most of my portfolio is probably in index funds or stocks. Like I have a few individual stocks as well. But that's pretty much my strategy. I dollar cost average a lot of the time. So I keep it very simple. I'm not a frequent trader. So all these features and benefits that Fidelity has, I don't really need. But, you know, it's really not that hard to switch back and forth. And honestly, like a lot of people I know in my family, they actually have money in both, right? And so that's pretty good too. But honestly, I feel like if you go Vanguard, Fidelity, you won't go wrong. But I definitely know Fidelity has a lot more cool features and stuff as well. So they were also the first ones to kind of do zero commission trades and whatnot. And they also have a lot of their zero fee funds. So if you haven't checked it out, I might as well do a shameless plug right now. Let's go to Kickass and let me type this in. kickassinvesting.com/YouTube. My investing page will pop up. I usually have a what's that called? Come on, load. I have a video on all the zero fund fees. So if y'all don't know, I actually have oh my god, this is so slow. I actually have like a few videos. I started uploading maybe in December. I usually do it every single Monday and whatnot. And I actually hired an editor for this channel too. So pretty cool stuff. Armored Ghost says Vanguard is great. I think Charles Schwab is great too. Charles Schwab just went zero commission trades as well. And one thing really great about Charles Schwab is that they have one of the best checking accounts ever. So you can go internationally. If you have an ATM card, you can go any ATM and just withdraw money from that. So it's really, really solid. Vanguard is very oriented around buy and hold. Schwab offers more flexibility whether you invest long-term or trade actively. There's nothing wrong with Schwab. The only reason why I stayed away from Schwab is because I really like the Vanguard funds a lot. Especially back in the day, they were I was telling people this in my other channel and even my course, where I was just like, dude, well, my course I actually need to update. That's why I'm switching to Kartra, so I can host a membership site and make more changes. One of the things that I was really struggling with my course was that this world, especially right now, it didn't used to change this much, but it's been changing a lot recently. So I've just been wanting to throw more content, not only in the free masterclass, but also the full blown course too, and provide more features and benefits and stuff like that. But what is your take on options trading? It's to me. I am not an options trader. Probably my friend Tom can probably talk a little bit more about that. But honestly, I'm not options trader at all. Do you always buy at scheduled intervals, or do you sometimes use discretion when prices are more reasonable? I do both. So I tend to buy, like, when I was working pharmacy, I would buy every single paycheck period, right? Recently I haven't been investing as much, to be honest with you, just because I've been wanting to invest back in the business. And you have to realize you are taxed differently from most 9-to-5ers, right? So being I guess, like, if you are a if you're a W2 versus like 1099, you get taxed a lot differently. So a lot of the things I invested are mostly business expenses, so I can write them off and whatnot. But when I was investing, I was buying at regular intervals, and then when I was stashing money away, whenever the market was really, really great, I would just double down on the dips and stuff like that. And I have reminders on Robinhood and all these other, like, these market watch type of things as well. Do you automatically reinvest dividends? Yep, I do. Because here's my take. I'm trying to invest for a long term. I'm not trying to go for the short term wins and stuff like that. I don't need the dividends, right? And so that's what I prefer to do. But my friend Sherry, she's really good. Cherry Tong, she's really good at dividend investing and stuff. Not to say there's a right or wrong strategy. Personally, I just reinvest my dividends all the time. So this is really funny. We switched to an investing talk, but that's really cool that people are asking all these questions as well. So if you guys have investing questions, business questions, anything, I'll do my best to help. I'll give you my opinion on things. Obviously, caveat emptor, do your own research as well. But I'll always kind of share my thoughts about certain things as well. So, man, today's stream is a little slow. Usually I think last week we had about 20 something people. This week is a little slower. And especially we're at the 24-minute mark as well. So, what other questions do y'all have? What else? What else did I want to talk about? Were you moving somewhere else in LA or California? So, I'm moving to the SGV area, so the San Gabriel area, just because there's a few reasons behind that. One, parking here is a bitch in K-Town, right? So I wanted to kind of move somewhere that not a little quieter, but where that's more convenient for me, right? Like, and plus with me and my roommate, we do tandem parking. So if you don't know what tandem parking is, it's like when you have you guys have to move each other's cars out of the way and stuff like that. Honestly, it gets really, really annoying, right? And it prevents me from going out sometimes, right? I know, as lazy as it sounds, sometimes that is really, really the case. And that's the number one thing that kind of sucks at my place. But super, super convenient and super cheap. Like my current apartment, it was only about, I think I would pay $1,100 or $1,000 per month. And we were on rent control. So especially in the area, I'm in the heart of K-Town. I live right next to 2 Korean barbecue places right now. And I live in pretty much in the middle of everything. So people used to meet me up here. We used to do podcasts and stuff. Now the SGV area, not as many people pass through that area. So it's going to be a lot harder to collab and do all these other things. But it's okay. There's changes. But I will only be paying, guess what? $580 per month for this new place. I was actually thinking about going to Bali or a different place just to kind of park just so that I could be and just have that place to kind of hold my stuff while I'm gone and whatnot. So that was kind of the plan, but I haven't confirmed anything yet. So one step at a time. And plus it's really close to some Costco's and whatnot that I go to, and some other places as well, like In-N-Out. So it's not as I don't have to worry about traffic. When you're in the heart of LA, people don't realize traffic is really bad. Back when I was driving back and forth from the pharmacy, I only live 6 miles away, but it would take me at least 30-40 minutes sometimes up to an hour, and we're not even talking that far. So that's kind of the amount of traffic that we have. I just jumped into investment game 2, bought some ETFs. ETFs are great. Personally though, it depends. It depends what kind of ETFs you buy and stuff like that. I think if you hold it in a and I might be mixing up, but if you hold it in a taxable account, it's more tax favorable than buying a mutual fund. But mutual funds in I think in a retirement account actually work better for some reason. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've kind of looked into it, but either way, any advice about leaving a retail pharmacy job? Thinking about a new gig, but not sure when the best time to be. So as far as leaving a retail pharmacy job, I think one of the questions that you have to ask is, so there's really 3 things that we need to figure out when you're leaving a job or anything like that, or try and make a transition. So people don't realize, while I was in pharmacy, working as a pharmacist, I was building up some other high income skills. And I know people hate that word, high income skills, but I was learning things like digital marketing, copywriting. I had my first I remember I had one copywriting gig with JK. That was pretty fun. I had that. And I was learning how to create content. If you go back, I've been creating content since 2014. I've been blogging since I was even younger, right? But I think I started getting a lot better probably more recently after I left. But I was building up all these skills. And I think one of the things that you have to think, there's really 3 things that you have to think about. Your vision, where you're trying to go. What's the lifestyle that you're trying to achieve? Then second thing, you got to figure out your vehicle or your hustle. So the actual thing that will get you to that vision. So that could be, for me, it was actually sales, right? High ticket sales. copywriting, digital marketing, all these cool things that I'm learning. And it might be different. It might be real estate for you. There's so many different things. And then really last thing is your heart, right? Meaning how do you show up every single day? The hustle, going through the motions every single day. I call it hustle with a heart, but I haven't figured out a cool name for the last thing. But that's kind of like something I've been working on and just really simplifying my ideas. But those are 3 things that you should consider. And I think for leaving retail pharmacy job, what do you really want? Could it be leaving your pharmacy job, start a business? Absolutely. Could it be getting a pharmacy job somewhere else outside of retail? Could be as well. Like there's remote entry pharmacy, like remote jobs as well. A lot of my friends are really happy working with managed care. I have a few friends that actually ended up in home infusion and stuff. There's a lot of different things that you could potentially do. Do they all require residency? No, they don't, actually, surprisingly. One of my really good friends actually ended up with a hospital job at a really famous hospital. So it's partly timing as well. I think the biggest problem or biggest hurdle for a lot of new grads is that they just don't have experience. So it's a lot tougher. So usually you have to have a really good connection with someone that actually is a gatekeeper and who will let you know, hey, there's a position open here, you should apply, right? And that's where meeting people in pharmacy school is really important. Meeting people outside of pharmacy school is also really important, right? That's why I love meeting people all the time, because I'm not saying that you should be an opportunist and just meet people just for your own opportunities and stuff. But I would say it's really helps me because it's so funny. Connections I made 5 years ago, I wouldn't say paid off, but it opens new doors so many years later. You just never know as well. Criteria of choosing where to. I hope that helps, right? And it's kind of hard. I'll tell you this, Rick, it's kind of hard to give advice on this because I don't know your strengths. I don't know where you really want to head, but think about what kind of lifestyle that you want, right, as well. So I think that's something important to consider. That's something I did not consider when I was in pharmacy. Criteria of choosing where to live. Is Costco nearby? I love Costco, man. It's really weird. I grew up on Costco food, even though none of it is keto. I'm actually thinking about buying whoa, my camera's off. I'm even thinking about buying a treadmill from Costco too, like a walking treadmill, so I can do my calls, shoot content and stuff like that. So I'm planning to redesign my next place in the SGV as well. Do you think society has inculcated, I don't even know what that is, people with a unhealthy sense of what type of status you should have and when? Let me look up this word. Inculcated. Does that mean somebody's a cuck? Let me just look it up really quick as well. And Armor Ghost also says Costco's keto friendly with the meat department. Absolutely, man. So let's what does inculcated mean? I'm sorry, my SAT words kind of suck. Instill the idea by persistent instruction. I think society does kind of emphasize that. Think about it like this, right? From the beginning that we're born, and you guys might agree with this or might disagree on it, but from the moment we're born, people are really taught to think very 9 to 5, very linear, follow instructions and stuff. The school system teaches you how to be a great 9 to 5er. And this is from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? Now, whether you agree with it or not, that's your own thing. But I actually kind of agree, because as I'm going into this business world, you have to think a lot more differently. You have to perceive risk a lot more differently. And it's been that's one of the challenges I've been really going through, is that kind of undoing all that programming that I had before. As well. So especially with things you should absolutely go to college unconditionally, that is unconditional of what you want or your vision. That's why I stress so much vision. I've been actually a recent follower of essentialism. I found it again, and I'm like, oh, that's really what I believe in. And everything you do should have a purpose to it, right? People are just like, you should get married for unconditionally without even thinking about it, right? Why should you get married? Like, what is the purpose of getting married? Why should you get a really big house? Why do you want a big house, right? Why not just rent? Like, ask yourself why, right? And there's no right or wrong, but if you can't really give a reason of why you're doing something, there's something wrong. And one of the things that I just don't like recently is people just attack you for alternative thought sometimes as well. So especially if you go against the grain. For me, I never want to have a house, right? At least at this point in my life. Well, I say forever and ever and ever. Keep in mind, I'm single. I don't have kids. I don't have any of that, right? I have no need for a house. I rather keep a more simple life and keep my money more liquid. That is what I prefer, right? So yeah, I believe society actually instills ideas in people. What are your thoughts about part-time pharmacists? I actually have a video on this, by the way, if you want to check out my YouTube channel. But my thoughts about part-time pharmacists, it fits for some people. Keep in mind, you don't get benefit. A lot of time you don't get benefits as a pharmacist. So that's something important to keep in mind. But if you're looking at the end of the day, if a part-time pharmacy job supports the lifestyle that you want, then go for it. There's nothing wrong with the job at all. I don't know how pharmacy works at all. Do farms mix chemicals to fill prescriptions, or do they somehow have inventory of all the medications for people? So it's a little bit of both. And I wouldn't say they have the inventories for all sorts of people. They have inventory based off of their population, right? So that's where you'll find like pre-manufactured medications. So when you see people counting pills, those have been already mass produced. They're readily available on the market. Now, when you need specialty medications, and I'm not talking about like biologics or anything like that. Those are produced by big pharma and all that as well. But if you need a very specific, like weird formulation that's not mass produced by manufacturers or big drug companies, that's when you get in the realm of compounding, right? And so they create special formulations for yourself. And plus, a lot of compounding pharmacies, they actually make formulations for things like pets, and they fall into different niches as well, right? So I think they mean inoculated. Oh, it's an actual word. Yeah. So I just never know, man. If I don't know shit, I'm just going to Google it like live on this stream, man. It's pretty interesting. Hey, should I go to pharmacy school? My dad's a pharmacist. I'm 23 years old. Well, Young G, that'd be pretty thug if that was your name, but I wouldn't just you have to ask yourself, why do you want to go to pharmacy school? What kind of end destination do you want? Because is this a good time to bring up the Bureau of Labor statistics? I should really do a separate video on how to do research, whether you should go into a certain career or not. If you guys want me to do it, please let me know. And thank you for that like. For the 9 people that haven't hit the like button, it would be great if you could boost my YouTube algorithm. But take a look at this. I think almost every single week I brought up the Bureau of Labor statistics, right? So I know these videos are very long sometimes, but it's just really funny. So take a look at this, man. I think this will be a good outline of seeing what kind of job that you want, right? Take a look at this. Job outlook in 2018 to 2028. 0%. Employment change is actually down, right? So I'm not telling you to do it or not do it. Just know that it's a very uphill battle if you decide to go pharmacy, right? Some really great careers, like I've pulled up the other week. PA is really hot right now, right? Especially if you go to a accelerated program and all that. I think the requirement for PA is you need a bachelor's, and then I think it's another year or two after that for most. One of my friends we used to go to school with PAs. I think they went to an accelerated program. I think it was 2 years or something like that. So really great career as well. Why not just use regular English? I don't know. College may not be necessary, but I think you need to have any status starting out. Even Lori Laughlin will pay $500,000 to get her kids in a top college, though even they'll never have to work. Well, I think like for a lot of rich people, right? That's where all the connections are made as well, right? But I'm not. What I'm saying is that they're not. School is not absolutely necessary to get where you want to go, right? And I would never tell someone to just blindly go into school. If my kids ever went to school, I ask them why. And is it absolutely impossible for you to get to your end destination without school? And is it worth the cost, right? So what I want to do when I have kids is really challenge the common thought. I don't think like making a blanket statement like I want to go to school. Like if my kid wants to go to school, great, right? But they have to understand like what is the purpose of going to school as well, right? I want them to be very conscious of it. But I don't know. And all the rich parents in the college scandal, they all have money. Their kids will ever need. They got to have that college status. What about owning a pharmacy? So if you don't know, I'm actually participating in pharmacy roll-ups right now. So I'm building a board and all that. One of the things that really scares me is that there's a lot of clawbacks. There's a lot of DIR fees. If you don't know what these are, essentially these are fees that the insurance puts on the pharmacies, and it's a way to get back more money from the pharmacies. And they're very, what's the word? They're very controversial because they're very unclear, right? And I think they're becoming, I don't know, they're very unclear and they really affect the profit margin of pharmacy. For example, I think the average, maybe a few years ago, and this report was even old, I think the average pharmacy profit margin was like 26%. Now it's like down to, I think the national average is 21% or 20%. So it's really been affecting a lot of pharmacy owners as well. So, but one of my friends, Jenny, she's doing really well. She owns a specialty pharmacy and she's doing really, really well. So not to say that you can't do well, but I think if you're going to do well, and especially 2020, you need to have you have to have a specialty pharmacy or go into a relatively like a good niche in an area that is not super overwhelmed and whatnot. Do you have any tips on how to get a pharmacy job in California? Currently trying to get licensed in CA. So I guess pharmacy jobs. So keep in mind, California is really, really big, right? So down here in LA, pretty saturated because a lot of people want to kind of live down here. If you go further north, like Fresno area where it's like bumsfuck nowhere, probably more jobs up there. But a lot of these cities are very, very high demand. So I don't know where you want to go. Like I always tell people, I think connections to gatekeepers is one of the most important things, and to people who are working out here, because they can give you the kind of like insider scoop of how to get in. They, who knows, if they're upper management, they might be able to hire you or something like that, or give you a shot. But I say, rather than just apply to every single fucking position out there, which is like the front door method, you should go through the back door, right? And build relationships. At the end of the day, by building relationships, you can't hurt yourself. You'll have really strong letters of recommendation from the right people as well, right? If you do networking, which I hate, I hate calling it that because it feels so artificial to me, but genuinely get to know people, especially in the area as well. Like especially if you can meet them in a casual setting, like if you guys meet in a casual setting through dinner or through a party, like not like a club or anything like that. But I think you can build a lot more rapport that way, if that makes sense. When in your day-to-day do you usually read books? So recently I've been reading less books just because I've been more execution focused. But typically I like to read books like when I'm really tired, not tired, but I guess like either early in the morning when I'm on the treadmill, right? So if I'm going for my walks in the morning, after my workout, that's when I'll read books. And I do a lot of like listening to courses recently, right? So I've been really into that. And then sometimes when I just want a break, I'll just crack open a book and just read it. Or if I have this really good idea and I know I read it in a certain book, that's when I'll do it as well. But books are great. Video on how to do research. Okay, video how to do research is a career must. All right, perfect. Yeah, this stuff really helps me, by the way. So I'm not sure if you know, but let me see. I actually have this file. So I'm taking Sunny Lenarduzzi's course, really great on YouTube. I just needed to kind of, I don't have it right now. Shit. But I've been taking her course about YouTube for bosses and stuff. I really like the course a lot. But I've been really focusing on creating more relevant content to my audience. So any kind of questions that you have, it really helps me a lot. Too young, also check out US Report. Best pharmacy jobs in US pharmacy is 55. Pass, says Tim Kirk. By the way, Young, listen to Tim Kirk because he's also a pharmacist as well, from what I understand. And he's been in the industry for quite a long time. Do you know why a lot of pharmacists don't work in marijuana dispensaries, since apparently marijuana is medicine? I don't know. Maybe you'll get Medicare banned. I don't freaking know. But to be honest, I mean, a lot of pharmacists don't know about, a lot of medical professionals don't know a lot about medical marijuana. Think about it. Schedule 1 federally. Hard to do research on it, right? Still, I think, still federally, like if the FBI comes knocking at your door, they can arrest you, right? And they can do raids and stuff. Like the federal government can still do it. Now, depending on your state, it might be state legal, but that doesn't mean it's federally legal as well. So I don't know why a lot of them don't, but still pretty high risk, I guess. But a lot of pharmacists are pretty conservative, risk averse. Is less pay, benefits, and concern about the racism the reasons why Asians usually shun military service? Well, so no, it's really interesting. Actually, most of my family actually was served in the military. It's probably one of the reasons why we got here, right? So for y'all that don't know, actually, my grandfather, he served back during World War II, man. And he was fighting against the Axis forces in Italy, right? So he was in the U.S. Army and all that. So my family is kind of weird. My dad also served too, and most of my dad's side. I obviously did not serve because I went to school. But from my mom's point of view, they're like, dude, you're a smart kid. Use your fucking brain and shit. So I don't know. I have no idea why. But I have tons of Asian friends who actually served in the military service. One of my good friends, his name is Rambo. That's his real name, Rambo, right? That's crazy, right? He's meant to go to the military, right? He went there and he did really, really well in it. So I'm not quite sure why Asians kind of shun military service, I guess, but I don't know. Maybe because they want something that is a lot higher paying, I guess. I don't know, but there's a lot of different ways you can serve this country, even as a healthcare professional. PHS is a really great opportunity for a lot of people as well. And I'm still waiting on that Air Force pharmacist, by the way. Patrick Morty says, you should do an update on Jenny's pharmacy. I want to. So I actually met up Jenny. She's doing pretty well. I mean, she scaled up quite a bit. I actually had a video of her probably a little bit a while ago. We're supposed to do a update on her pharmacy, but I definitely will jump into it. Especially we get that question a lot. Like, what is it like opening up your own pharmacy? And I know I could rank really well, but I'll make sure to highlight that and try to get that done as well. Just taking a sip of this unsweetened green tea, man. Does medical marijuana not need a pharmacist to dispense it like any other controlled substance? I don't really know, to be honest with you. It's still legal, man. So federally, like I said. Is the Castle seminar worth it if you have already gone through all the online YouTube content? Also, was your focus in M&A roll-ups? So when I talked to Dan Pena was telling me, dude, focus on pharmacies, right? That is your bread and butter. That's the career you should go through. If you're going to the Castle seminar, so looking back on it, there's a few reasons why I would go to a Castle seminar, right? if it's for you. You're going, one, not for the knowledge, you're going for the experience, right? And to ask any specific questions to Dan Pena. That's one thing I wish I did a lot more. I wish I did a lot more research about like my business idea going to the castle. So, but hey, I mean, that's like my personality, right? I just like jump into things. Second thing, if you want Dan Pena to be your chairman, he only does deals with like castle students, so you have to show that commitment to go to him. But it's a really, really great experience. I highly recommend it because you're in this environment where you're with top performing people, and you realize, oh shit, my dreams aren't that big, and that's what I kind of realized going to Castle as well, right? Thank you for the wisdom, says Young G. Are you rolling up pharmacies with other medical services? So in my executive summary, I have specialty pharmacies with the plan to go into bigger healthcare type of things. Telehealth is huge right now. Telehealth is huge. Really high profit margins and all that as well. Like, so he recommended that as well. Ra 321124 says thanks for the advice. Sorry for a typo. Podcasts are dope. Are you distrustful of the government at any level, local, state, federal? I would, like, honestly, distrustful. I don't know if I'm like distrustful, but I also know that government is like a business, right? There's like, the truth is it's a business. It's pretty much its own corporation. There's a lot of corruption in our government as well. Like, I mean, lobbyists, for example, right? You just throw enough money at the government, you can bribe the right people, you can make things go through, right? Even though they're not supposed to. Look at Big Pharma as well, right? So I would say, like, you have to understand where they're coming from. Essentially, they're a huge corporation, and they always want their piece of the pie, right? So, yeah, man. I would say I'm not super pro-government. I believe in smaller government because I think of like my views are kind of libertarian, I guess, right? But I don't know. I'm not very political to begin with. My dad pays taxes. I think I'm fine. Thanks, bro. Keep up the QLA grind. Yeah, man. I already got my first strike from Dan Pena because I fucked up the formatting, man. So, it's just like, damn, like, you know, like that's where. So going through Dan Pena's like reporting is freaking insane. And obviously, I obviously can't show you guys like what I report to him every single week, but his literally we're tracking every single hour. Like, I gotta put this on my report. I gotta tell Dan who are the people I'm surrounding myself with. Who am I talking to? I have to be very conscious of that. How am I feeling that day? Did I do my affirmations? All that sort of stuff. So it's really, really interesting. I really like it a lot because it holds me accountable. I've never been more accountable for my time. Like, I'm accountable. Like, I've never been more conscious about the amount of time I waste. I used to waste a lot of fucking time. It's really amazing, right? So I have noticed I'm not in bed all the time too. Like, I don't sleep as much. Like, just fucking around throughout the day because I just want to get shit done. Look at Epstein. Have enough money and you can still get the highest person in prison suicided. Lol. It's funny. Man, I need to get a tissue. Shit. Man. I usually have a tissue box here. Fuck. I don't know where it is. Whatever. It's all good. Do you know about Barbell Brigade? Yeah, I go there actually. I haven't been there this last month because I put my membership on hold when I went back to Dan Pena's castle, but I go there a lot of the time. So I actually met up with like Brandon and Justin probably recently. Whenever I see Bart, I say hi. But yeah, man, it's just like Barbell Brigade is really great. Actually, one of the reasons why I like going there is just because like the seriousness factor, right? When you go into a 24-hour fitness or anything like a commercial gym, it doesn't have to be 24. You meet so many fucking weird characters there. You meet Asian moms who are doing weird ass shit. I see this guy on a punching bag. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, he's like, ah. I'm like, dude, that's not how you fucking that's not how you strike, first of all. And I don't know, man. You meet a lot of people like like people with big egos. There's this really buff guy at like at this 24-hour gym, and he's like critiquing everyone. So you meet so many damn characters, but at barbell, at least, like, people are serious about powerlifting. There's a lot of strong people there. Pushes you to be a lot stronger as well. So there's like kind of like, all ships rise with the tide or whatever. So I've been actually focusing on lifting a lot more than jujitsu since my left knee is didn't pop, but I sprained it. So it's feeling a lot better. I can actually do like pigeon pose now, like in yoga. So pretty cool, but sometimes weird angles might aggravate it a little bit. All right, guys. I think that is pretty much it. I think we are. If you guys have any final questions, make sure to drop them in the chat really quick. I'm going to grab dinner relatively soon. By the way, had a huge day today. Had almost a $1,500 day. But keep in mind, I was going through a huge dry spell for the last like month or two. Just because I went to Dan Pena's, I kind of took that whole month off. So it really feels good being in the grind. I've been like really kind of honing in my skills and stuff like that. So getting used to everything. Do you take CBD? No, I do not take CBD at all. So never really had marijuana. I never ingested marijuana or anything like that before. Yeah, I think one time, so when one time when I popped my LCL or MCL, one of the jujitsu guys, because I go to 10 Planet, like put some CBD on my knee and stuff, but that's like the only exposure I've really had. So, but I'm not against it. I heard it works really, really well. I just never had the need for marijuana or anything like that. So pretty interesting. But anyways, if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to head out. Some quick final plugs. Make sure to go refugeehustle.com. Check out the new website. Let me know like what you guys think, man, about my website. I really spent a lot of time. I spent all Tuesday just trying to figure this out, man. So I think it looks pretty decent compared to the old one. I wish I took pictures of the old one, but this is like, I think it looks pretty sick right now. And I gotta update some of these links. Like, this got questions thing is so freaking wordy and old. Like, it's so funny. Like how I used to write copy and stuff. I just really wanted to create like a dope ass site, dope ass articles again, and just get back on the blog grind again. So, I crack my knuckles a lot, and I think my fingers have weakened because of it. Which I do carry weights. Carrying weights would really help. Maybe some farmer like walks and stuff, but really things like deadlifts and whatnot will, like, dude, you have to grip, like any gripping type of thing, or even bar like hangs and stuff like that, right? Like that would really help you a lot. Good night, brother. Well, good night, y'all. Really appreciate y'all for tuning in for today. I will talk to you later. I'm going to eat dinner because I'm fucking starving. So I will talk to you later. Have a great day. Keep your hustle on. I will see you guys next week. When I look for my board candidates, what should I put in my LinkedIn profile? Okay, this will be the last question I answer. So I modeled this after a lot of other QLA people. So I put this. So if you want to take a look at mine, it says seeking acquisition candidates, healthcare investment, and all that. So feel free to model after mine if you really want. That's kind of what I'm doing. I do have a vision and stuff. I have executive summary and all that as well. But that's pretty much my profile at this moment. So I hope that helps, Usman. Okay. I think if you look me up, if you type in Refugee Hustle, I'll pop up right away on LinkedIn and whatnot. So, all right, guys, I will talk to you later. Have a great rest of the night. Peace.